And I'm just applying this gently on top of this canvas, getting a little water in a cup and using a sponge and just gently dabbing it in. I'm gonna make some changes to that later on the next episode, but that's what we have here. Okay, so let's get this thing started. Mod Podge here, that's what I'm going to apply for this transferring of image. And by the way, thank you for participating in that survey that I did for the episode 1. So most of you guys chosen, about 4 of you guys has chosen for about 50% of the time to go with the option 1 from the survey. So thank you very much for choosing that as I'm applying this Mod Podge here. Things that I've learned from the previous episode. Remember that butterfly episode that I did where I basically did the whole thing the wrong way. So if you like to see all the mistakes that I made on that one, on that episode, try to go back and watch that. But here, of course, after watching this video, of course, but as I'm gently applying this, crisscrossing back and forth, I actually learned this correct technique of transferring this image onto a canvas from this wonderful channel. It's called Astra's Place, at Astra's Place. I'll be sure to put that link in the description section. So go check that episode of transferring the image the correct way onto a canvas. This lady did a wonderful job. And that's basically what I learned from this technique. So that's what I'm going to do it back and forth. And be sure to watch till the end for some bonus feature. Here is the image that you guys have chosen, option 1 image, a Van Gogh image that I've created on my Procreate iPad not too long ago, several years ago actually, to be honest with you. And I'm just applying this gently on top of this canvas after applying the Mod Podge here, and just kind of gently scrubbing that in. And always make sure that the printed image side goes on top of this, gently scrubbing it. So I just been to a swimming pool today because I had some lower back issue for the last 3 to 4 days, and it was really hurting a lot. So made a decision this morning. It's hot summer in Southern Cal, so I went to the pool this morning and did some laps, and came back, and as I'm recording this, I feel much better. And make sure that as you apply these image on to this canvas, that it's wrinkle-free. That's what I'm trying to do here. Of course, it's not going to be 100% wrinkle-free, but just do the best as you can. And gently scrubbing that in, and just applying that, and make sure that if it's all the images are transferred. And you're just gonna flip this over. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave this overnight. And I just looked around, and that's the best thing I could find. This wet wipes that I got from Costco, and this little book. I don't know if you guys know this, Gogh Pachi. That's basically a Korean storybook that I used to read to my kids. It's basically a Cinderella story in Korean storybook here, and putting the pressure because it's a gallery wrapped 1.5 inch thick, I think, canvas. So that's why I apply that thing in there. And another storybook here. Yeah, this looks like I just kind of looked around my garage, to make sure that I have something that I can put something on top of it to put some pressure on it. In Korean, it's called 꿈나라 여행. It's a story about a little boy having a dream with this bear traveling through time on this little imaginary boat. So that's one of the things that I try to read to my kids when they were little toddlers. So I put some pressures with clamps on, and let it. I'm just gonna let this one sit for about a couple of actually overnight, and we're gonna come back and see what happens next. So here we are. It's been 24 hours later here, and I'm just gonna gently take this clamp out of this thing and see what we have. So let's see. So I got rid of this thing and taking the book off to see if it has been applied as much as I can to see if this image has been applied. And it looks like it's looks pretty good. So far so good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply a little bit of water. Like you can put it in a sprinkle, like a spray gun or something, to gently apply it. The whole point of it is to make sure that I kind of forgot to record the section about putting the water in a spray can, and then that's what I did here in this scene, and just kind of gently try to scrub this paper away so the image kind of comes through. So I'm kind of short-tempered, so I gotta be really patient with this thing. So in this one, there's another way of applying water here. Getting a little water in a cup and using a sponge and just gently dabbing it in. So you can either use a spray method, or just using a cup with water and just gently using a sponge, as you can see here, and just kind of don't put too much water at a time, but gently put a little bit and then just kind of scrub it gently of all these papers, excess papers from off of the canvas. So that's the main thing. You got to be a little patient. So as I'm doing it, I did make a little mistake, as you can see from the little head side of it, head portion. The eyes, it kind of bothers me because it's kind of looking directly at the viewer. So I'm going to make some changes to that later on the next episode. But that's what we have here. And let's change that a little bit. So I let it dry for a little bit here, and as you can see the image here, and like I said, this eyes, they're looking directly at me. I'm going to change that later on for the next episode. And here's a little bonus feature for you for the next episode here, as I'm using this rubber tipped brush. I don't know exactly what it's called, but gently using the white and little beige colors and with gray to start working on covering this real estate.